Oh, yeah, come on. It's the Big Picture Live, y'all. Special edition. Tonight, we're not ever normally on a Monday night on Facebook, but we're on Facebook tonight. We're on X. We're on YouTube. We're on Rumble. Special edition. Big Picture Live. Y'all better put your seatbelt on because we're going to break it down. Let's go. All right, it's time to begin tonight's Big Picture Live, and we're going to go ahead and bring in the queen. There she is, y'all.
Thank you. Wow, great to be back.
The crowd is always crazy for you.
I'm still waiting for that royal procession, though.
Oh, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. What? Wow. What a week and what a weekend.
What can you say? I'll tell you what it reminded me of. That fateful day in 1998 when the Clinton-Lewinsky thing broke.
Oh, yeah, that's when you started watching news.
No, I was watching it before then. But we stayed in front of the television for hours.
We did.
It was just crazy. So why don't you tell them how it went down at our house?
You talking about the event Saturday?
Yes.
Okay, so some of you have already watched the show. You've heard me say this, but we were I was working on my stuff, getting ready for church Saturday evening, and I had the rally on the TV in the living room, and I was sitting there working on my laptop, and had it turned almost completely down. And Sandy's walking behind me. She's headed outside to water her flowers or something, and I was like, "Stop! Stop!" She said, "What is?" I said, "Something just happened to Trump." And it's just like,
roll it back.
We started trying to go back. My TV started messing up. We was freaking out. And then, of course, let's get serious here. Of course, we thought it was done. When we saw him go down, we had no idea at that moment, just like many of you had no idea that he had took himself down. At that point, we thought he had taken a direct shot to his head. And
you couldn't tell immediately, but I was impressed. Immediately we did rewind it and see that he had the presence of mind to take himself down.
You got to make sure you're in front of your microphone.
To take himself down, and then, of course, he was covered by the Secret Service. But what a day. Yeah. What an event.
Absolutely.
We were watching Fox already because Shannon Bream, one of the hosts, was doing a 2-hour show. And she was prompted, and there it went. Her 2 hours of glory were over. I'm sure she didn't mind, and she's very well seen on Fox normally, but things went crazy. It got cray-cray.
They really did. And as we speak tonight, if you're watching live, the Republican National Convention has kicked off. We're not going to bring audio in right now, but just throughout the night, I'm going to be keeping an eye on it, and we may come and go. Right now, this is live coverage here from the Republican National Convention. Honestly, I don't know who this guy is. He's somebody that's a up and coming guy, I'm sure. But we'll be coming back and forth throughout the night.
Yeah, I'm interested. You guys out there watching tonight, how did you experience this? What was going on in your house? Were you there in front of the television or in your home immediately when it happened? I mean, we were unfortunate, however you want to look at it, to be right there already watching the news because we were watching a 2-hour special program. But where were you? Yeah. How did it happen for you?
Yeah, so let us know. Now, before we get into the news, I think we got somebody to introduce us again for the news.
Okay.
Let's just see if we can
get ready for my Papa and on the big picture.
You go, girl. Yeah.
That is our bunny rabbit, and she is now the big picture star of the world. Everybody around the world knows her. She's so excited to be on the big picture, and we've got a new part tonight that you'll see a little bit later when we get down to Uncle Jimmy.
Maybe a little fun.
Yes. So, not only is the convention going on, man, there's just so much news. Yes. We'll talk extensively about the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, which is crazy to even hear coming out of my mouth. But today also, at the beginning of the convention, Donald Trump has announced his vice presidential candidate. It is J.D. Vance. So you probably have already heard that. If you have not heard it yet, you're hearing it first right now. J.D. Vance from Ohio is now the vice president President-elect or Vice President appointed and nominated. They've officially nominated him on the floor. It's been approved unanimously. So this is your ticket on the Republican side, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. And, let's talk about J.D. Vance for just a second. Many of you, like me, I knew a little bit about him, but not a lot. Former President Donald Trump announced Senator J.D. Vance, Republican from Ohio, as his 2024 running mate on Monday, earlier today. The much-anticipated moment occurred just as Trump was being formally nominated as a Republican presidential nominee at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Trump announced on Truth Social, and I love the fact that he just bypassed all of media and just said, I'm just going to put it on my own company, and y'all got to come over here, give me traffic in order for you to know who my VP is. This is just so Trump. After lengthy deliberation and thought, and considering the tremendous talents of many others, I have decided that the person best suited to assume the position of Vice President of the United States is Senator J.D. Vance of the great state of Ohio. J.D. honorably served our country in the Marine Corps, graduated from Ohio State University in 2 years, summa cum laude, and is, you said it earlier, a Yale Law School graduate, where he was editor of the Yale Law Journal and president of the Yale Law Veterans Association. I did not read this. We had a big discussion earlier about this.
And I was once again right.
JD's book, Hillbilly Elegy, became a major bestseller and movie on Netflix and has championed the hardworking men and women of our country. JD has had a very successful business career in technology and finance, and now, during the campaign, will be strongly focused on the people he fought so brilliantly for, the American workers and the farmers in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, Minnesota, and far beyond. As Vice President, J.D. will continue to fight for our Constitution, stand with our troops, and will do everything he can do to help make America great again. Congratulations to Senator J.D. Vance, his wife, Usha, who also graduated from Yale Law School, and their 3 beautiful children, MAGA 2024, and this is a screenshot of the Truth post that he made. So there's your team that's going to face against, and in my opinion, I think, there was a lot of people up in the air whether, Biden was going to be the president, but I believe after what happened Saturday, the attempted assassination of his rival, it's going to be very, very difficult, I believe, for the Democrats to replace him because they're going to need somebody to be in the office of president.
And that was the discussion I had with you last week is certainly before this happened that it looks like Biden's a keeper.
Yeah.
Definitely for now, maybe for until this is over and we see who the winner is, which I thoroughly believe will be Trump.
We need to adjust that mic.
Why does this keep falling? It needs to be tightened.
It needs to be tightened. Y'all just stay with live TV right here. We gotta be able to hear the Queen.
This is happening.
All right, let's see. Hang on.
This
Just keep
happening.
talking. Just keep talking.
Okay. This is wonderful.
Yeah. Live
Nice,
TV.
nice,
Live
nice.
TV. All right, keep it in front of you. There you go.
Cool.
Can y'all hear good? All right,
Maybe
talk.
that'll work.
Talk.
Does this work?
Yeah, that's better. Okay,
all right.
so the question is then, everybody's asking the same question. Who is J.D. Vance?
Yeah.
Some things you need to know about Donald Trump's pick for vice president. So here we go. Vance rose to prominence with his memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. Now, we have not seen it. No. We're going to see it now, obviously. We're going to want to watch this.
Got to watch it now. But this was a Netflix production, right?
Netflix production. And, of course, it was based on his book, his memoir of his life. And I have seen a bunch of things about his life. I did know a little bit about him. I knew that he come from a very broken home, which, of course, related to me because I can relate to that as well. But here's the thing. It says that Vance made a name for himself in his memoir, 2016, Hillbilly Elegy. He was first elected to public office in 2022. I mean, he is a newcomer.
Yes.
I mean, he's just now on the scene. And somebody even said on a completely opposite ideology side of the coin, it reminds him a lot of Obama in the sense that somebody's...
Kamala, is that true? Is she a...
Well, Kamala, I don't know, but Kamala's never really won anything.
I was listening earlier. I know what you're talking about. First term, Barack Obama.
Yeah.
They were comparing J.D. Vance, Barack Obama, maybe Kamala, another Democrat. I can't remember exactly who they said.
All right, so... but here's the thing. It says he and Trump have personal chemistry. We're going to get to that in just a minute. Personal relationships are extremely important to the former president. He and Vance have developed a strong rapport over the years, speaking on the phone regularly. Trump has also complimented Vance's beard saying he looks like a young Abraham Lincoln. Okay, wow.
We have a winner.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
So here's the thing that everybody's talking about, and this is going to be the narrative you're going to hear a lot about. You already heard it. You're going to hear a lot about in the next few days, especially from your CNNs, your MSNBCs, and so forth. Vance went from a never-Trumper to a fierce ally. Vance was a never-Trump Republican in 2016. He called Trump dangerous and unfit for office. Vance, whose wife, lawyer Usha Chilakuri, who is an Indian American and the mother of their 3 children, also criticizes Trump's racist rhetoric, saying he could be America's Hitler. But by the time Vance met Trump in 2021, he had reversed his opinion. Citing Trump's accomplishments as president, both men downplayed Vance's past scathing criticism. Once elected, Vance became a fierce Trump ally on Capitol Hill, unceasingly defending Trump's policies and behavior. He is a leading conservative voice. Democrats call him an extremist, which might be a good sign if you're a Republican. Citing provocative positions, Vance has taken, but sometimes later amended. Vance signaled support for the 15-week abortion ban during the Senate run, then softened his stance once Ohio voters overwhelmingly backed the 23 abortion rights bill. So what people are saying that I'm hearing a lot of people say today is that we're going to get the next article we get into is how this attempted assassination of Donald Trump has possibly changed Donald Trump and changed his approach. And they're saying that Vance is going to be sort of turned loose to be the bulldog, and Trump is going to try to be a little bit more presidential.
Well, okay. So I'm hearing he has changed his speech.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. We got an article on that.
I'm just comparing that to your last statement that Vance maybe put out as the bulldog, and we're going to see a softer side of Trump the way we saw a softer side of Sears a couple of decades ago, right?
You're just dating yourself, baby.
Just full of it.
I mean, you're just dating yourself. I mean, nobody knows about the softer side of. Did you say of Sears?
Chime in if you remember. Come see the softer side of Sears.
Oh yeah, we're dating ourselves here. We're
or did I completely make that up?
I think I remember the softer side of something. Was it Sears? I don't remember being Sears. I thought you was going to say the kinder, gentler version of Donald Trump.
Well,
remember those days? Be a kinder, gentler.
Kinder, gentler. Whatever's going to happen, I imagine we're about to see it pretty soon, so get the popcorn.
All right, so we'll get back to Trump's speech and some other things, but right now we're just covering every day it's breaking news. And today, not only did this happen, not only did we have the attempted assassination of a presidential candidate just a couple of days ago, and then the beginning of he survives and he doesn't call off the convention. He's there at the convention. He announces his vice presidential choice. And then just before the roll call began, right in the middle of them calling out the states and the delegates, a bombshell dropped. The judge in Florida, federal judge, dismissed the Trump documents case.
Right.
The Mar-a-Lago, the sensitive documents case, Jack Smith is unlawfully appointed, she said. The 93-page opinion and order was made after days of oral arguments over the special counsel's appointment. And, of course, prosecutors say they will appeal. U.S. District Judge Aileen Cannon dismissed former President Donald Trump's classified documents case on July 15th, finding that special counsel Jack Smith's appointment was unconstitutional. The superseding indictment is dismissed because special counsel Smith's appointment violates the appointments clause of the United States Constitution. It goes on to basically break down that Trump's attorneys had requested this dismissal based on the fact that Jack Smith had not been appointed by the president and approved and voted on, and what's the word when you're bringing a judge in? I can't think of the word. When you vote on it, approve the judge, there's a word for it. He never went through that process.
All right, smart people out there, somebody knows what this terminology is.
And so he was not officially federally approved by the Senate. So he was not he did not have the legal right to do this.
Let's not let things like legality stand in our way, right? And pregnant pause here. I just want to say what? Are we experiencing a wave of change? It's like 5 minutes.
Confirmed. Why can I not think of confirmed?
Thank you.
Confirmation.
It's like very recently everything was going against him.
Yeah.
But now everything is turning for him, including, hallelujah, you didn't die on Saturday, right?
Yeah, how about that one?
So what's going on? What?
So, yeah, I think that's, some people would say that that's a divine thing. Who knows?
Maybe.
But I mean, y'all, it was amazing that he survived that.
Yes.
And you just think about the Supreme Court passed that, he had total immunity.
Mm-hmm.
Then he was supposed to be sentenced
Right.
from his conviction on July the 11th. That was pushed back because of the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
He survives an attempt on his life.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have his vice presidential candidate comes out. He's got the press of that.
Right.
And then right before that, his case, which many people believe was the case that was probably the most dangerous case for him because the evidence that was there, supposedly right or wrong, most people, Republicans and Democrats, said that was the one he should have been concerned about the most, was dismissed. So, yeah, there does seem to be something.
Things are looking up.
This is the case that Judge Cannon used. It's called the Appointments Clause. The Appointments Clause stipulates that officers must be nominated by the president and confirmed by the Senate. It identifies a difference between what courts later deemed principal and inferior officers and states that department heads may appoint inferior officers if Congress has passed legislation allowing them to do so. And none of that applied, so legally she was bound to obey the Appointments Clause and dismiss the case. Now, of course, Jack Smith can appeal it and refile it on a state basis.
Okay.
But here's the reality. No matter what he does, no matter how fast he does, there's zero chance that it happens before November. And when November happens, if Donald Trump wins the presidency, it goes away because the entire Justice Department is replaced. So things are looking up for Donald Trump right now.
Right.
Okay. So let's let me take a look here and see who's speaking. Oh, look, Alabama's own.
Our very own Katie Britt.
Katie Britt.
Little Southern Belle.
Let's listen to this little Southern Belle from Alabama here speaking at the convention.
We all know that raising a family is hard. Add in smartphones and social media, and we already had plenty to worry about. But then Joe Biden and Kamala Harris came around. Now our lives are that much more difficult and way more expensive.
That's the truth.
Under Biden-Harris, prices are high and expectations, well, they're low. Grocery prices are up more than 21%.
I'll give you an amen on that, Katie.
Electricity is up 31%. Gas is up 48%.
What?
Mortgage
40.
rates have more than doubled, and rent is skyrocketing.
All right, so that's Alabama's own Katie Britt right there. Yeah. Even though they really came after her with her rebuttal to the State of the Union, she is considered to be a rising star in the Republican Party. Now, Sandy, it's time for us to get serious here. I mean, we are who we are.
Excuse me, I thought we had been serious for the last
18 I'm talking about we're going to be careful not to be labeled as laughing because some of y'all out there are haters. Well, y'all laugh at things you shouldn't be laughing
Seriously, I have not even had a coffee, and you expect me to be sensitive and
look, calm down. Okay, calm down. All right, so look, all right, so let's just cover a little bit about what happened Saturday.
Okay.
And then we're going to get into some other detailed stuff about it. Breaking. Former President Donald Trump appears to be shot at rally. This is updated. Trump responds, shooter identified. So I want to go down here, and we're going to show the videos. All right, so this is the video that you've seen 1,000 times.
Right.
But we need to see it one more time.
Now an update on that major breaking news. We're following the sounds of possible gunfire ring out at former President Trump's rally just outside Pittsburgh. Watch and listen.
Take a look at what happened.
Unbelievable.
Shots still being fired.
So this is the shots fired. And then I'm going to scroll down here. Look at this image. This is an iconic image.
It's a pretty iconic image.
Yeah, he's.
I have to, while you're on that, I have to tell you what Delane said. There's some kind of quote from Trump where he supposedly says, "You usually have to die to get an iconic picture like that."
Oh, wow.
I mean, wow.
I mean, look.
What words?
Yeah, and that's an iconic picture right there. That picture right there, our grandkids will see this picture. This picture will be forever etched in the minds of America.
Look, this is strength, okay? This is defiant in the face of death, right? This is a big contrast to what our current leadership is putting out and putting forward, right?
Right. Yeah, and the world is watching this. That's the thing. The world is watching a man saying, wait, I got to stand up and shout, freedom, fight.
Hopefully they are shaking in their boots, worried that he is going to be reelected and what that will mean. Maybe some of those leaders of other countries are really responsible for Saturday.
Look at the early reports of how those that cannot stand Trump was reporting it.
Yes.
Instead of attempted
Very
killing,
interesting.
Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. This is what CNN posted when they was watching it, pow, 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 pow. And then this is their headline before they were forced to admit it. Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. What? Yeah. Media reports are now saying an AR-style rifle was found at the scene, blah, blah, blah. Then, of course, they start interviewing people. And then this is when we get into the big-time questions here.
Yes.
This is the building. The building in the back is where the shooter was claimed to be and was claimed to be killed. All of these people that's in this image, this is a screenshot of a video. This is not after the fact. This is when they're all yelling at the police and telling them that there is a man laying on the roof with a gun.
So these people are outside of the
perimeter.
The perimeter. They would be looking to their right to see what was going on with Trump. Is that?
Yes, that's correct.
The shooter is on top of the building in front of them.
About right behind where that tree is. So let's just watch this little video. And I'm going to go ahead and say right now, I don't know anything about language, so if you hear language, don't shoot the messenger. Okay, here we go.
You can see the guy there. I think they hit him because the guy he looks dead.
So that's him after. But notice where he's at on the roof. He's not at the pinnacle. So it looks to me like he must have stood up and aimed and shot, because unless that building was at an angle, and I'm thinking it might have been at an angle where he could have sort of went off the side of the building with the shot. So, because in my mind, I was thinking he was at the pinnacle when I first started hearing about it.
It's hard to get to the facts, but I will tell you, in reading some articles today, I read across one that said the policeman climbed the ladder.
We're going to get to that. I got an article. I got that article.
I know.
I don't want to get that far ahead yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe you're covering the exact same information.
Yes,
I'm just trying to address what you were saying about why he's not at the pinnacle of the roof. So.
Right. Okay. So yes, I am going to do that. Let's just, since you brought it up, let's just go ahead and go there.
Okay.
So, all right. So here it is. This is what you're talking about. A local policeman confronted the Trump shooter, but retreated when the gunman pointed the rifle at him. Staggering new details emerge as security crisis deepens.
So let me go ahead and say, you're probably going to read this, I hope, in this article. I don't know. I can't remember if it's a different one. But it is believed when he startled the shooter went ahead and started to fire. And maybe that's why he's not in what you think would be the optimal position. I don't know.
That's the narrative. But what I also am hypothesizing is that when you look at the building, I was first thinking that he had to go over the pinnacle to see, but the building was sort of turned this way. So really, you had a sight line all the way up the ridge. So he could have literally just been laying there down low and still had a sight line instead of just because he didn't really have enough time. I mean, you still think about this, okay? And all of this is based on if what we've been told is even true.
Exactly.
All right, so if what we're being told is true, then you have to understand whether he was rushed by that local policeman or not, he still did not miss. I keep hearing all these people saying he missed. He did not miss. It was a turn of the head. And that we have an actual – I watched an interview with the New York Times, which is no friend to Donald Trump, New York Times photographer on Fox News today telling about he's the one that took the picture. So he automatically uploads all his pictures to his producer.
He captured the bullet picture?
He captured the bullet picture. He uploads all his pictures. They call him back immediately while he's still on the grounds and is in panic mode. And they said, listen, you are not going to believe what we just zoomed in and found. You just caught the bullet. And so if you're talking about, and now they're even saying that they believe that bullet shot may have been a second bullet. That he
not
did,
the first.
Not the first. Okay. It could have been a second bullet.
Okay.
But the reality is it's right by his head. So the guy did not miss. He just something, call it divine, call it chance, call it whatever you want to call it. And depending on whoever you're for, is what you're going to call it.
Yeah.
He literally, and I heard Trump talking about it today when he was interviewed, he said, this is what he says, I never take my eyes off the crowd. He said, I always look forward. He said, you watch my speeches, I don't do that. But that sign caught my attention, and I was reading that sign and commenting on that sign, and he said, if you'll notice, I mean, he's doing the play-by-play of himself, because now, retrospectively, he's realizing he turns his head this way, and then he turns his head the other way, and at that moment is when the pops happen.
Yeah.
A half a second, a millisecond before his head is this way, the conversation tonight is totally different.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, his kids are pretty fired up. And as they should be.
Well, as they should be, yes.
As they should be.
So going back to this, Sandy, it's this coming out today that this local police officer came face to face with a would-be assassin, but backed away. Not long before the shots ran out, rally goers noticed a man climbing to the top of a roof of a nearby building and warned the local law enforcement, according to two law enforcement officials. One officer climbed the ladder, there's a ladder above it, against it, to the roof and encountered Crooks, who pointed his rifle at the officer. The officer retreated down the ladder, and Crooks quickly took a shot towards former President Donald Trump just 130 yards away. The people that we've talked to, this former military, said that is one of the easiest shots for anybody.
And is that basically like 390 feet? I think that's probably correct. But like you're saying, not terribly hard for...
Especially if you got a scope.
Right.
I mean, if you're not really a great sharpshooter, if you got a scope. That's when the U.S. Secret Service counter snipers shot him. We're going to get to those men in just a second. Said the officials who spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymous. According to the Butler County Sheriff Michael, the officer was gripping the roof's edge when confronted by Crook's rifle. Before his position, he did not have a gun with him and had to drop back to the ground. He's let go because he doesn't want to get killed, blah, blah, blah. The guy is a blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I want to read that again. According to his position, he did not have a gun with him and had to drop back to the ground.
That's why he dropped down. He didn't want to get killed, obviously.
Why are you a policeman and you are responding to somebody telling you there's a man with a gun on the roof and you are a local police and you climb the ladder without a gun?
add it to the pile of things that simply don't make sense.
Somebody help me understand why you climb a ladder as a policeman in response to someone saying there's a man on a building across from the Republican candidate, former president of the United States of America, and you don't climb it with a gun?
You think they'll let us get an interview with him? Get his firsthand account on video?
No. No. Well, Sandy, this is, I think everybody that, even if you're not a conspiracy theorist, your mind has to go to something smells.
I hope the video is embedded in this article.
Of the snipers?
No, it's a quick exchange, but I hope that it's in here.
What video are you talking about?
So we're talking about the female Secret Service.
Yeah, we'll show that.
This is what this story's about, correct?
Not this one. This is the actual shot of him before.
Oh, okay.
This is him.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's laying there scoping out the president of the United States. All right. So I know what you're saying now, where you're going to go with it. But y'all, yeah, I'm going to go there.
Step lightly.
I'm going to step lightly. Sandy, you and I have had discussions. You know I ain't got no problem with a strong woman. I'm married to one, y'all.
Apparently not.
I'm married to one, y'all.
Just kidding.
No, you're not kidding.
I hope to be a strong woman.
You are strong. Wait a minute. Hold up. Let me finish my thought.
Please.
Strong woman. I have no problem with believing that women can do just about anything that's put to their mind to do.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you something. This narrative that has been sold to us as American people in movies and all this other stuff, that short, little, tiny women can whip and beat. I mean, look at these superhero movies. I mean, you got a 5'8" woman that's going to beat
5'4", 5'5".
5'4", 5'5". That is literally whipping the tail of grown, muscle-bound men and all this with their moves.
And it works in the movies.
It works in the movies.
It works in the movies.
But ladies and gentlemen, it don't work in real life.
Yeah, a petite woman is not going to be able to duplicate the actions of a larger male. And, you know, if you were Donald Trump, if you were running for any, you know, office or further out into the public eye than what you are, I would want a team of men helping to secure you, because I would feel better about that. And that's not bashing women. For me, that's just using common sense and taking advantage of the best candidate to fulfill that role.
Absolutely.
So,
and I think we've all seen it 100 times. I mean, I'm thankful, grateful for the Secret Service, grateful for their going straight to him, getting on top of him, covering him.
Yes.
But look, you can't, if you're 5'5", you can't, and you're standing in front of a 6'4" man, and you are the front person, which was a woman.
Let me just say what you're thinking.
Please
and
say it for
want
me.
to step lightly.
Say it for me.
Why did we have 4 to 6 women, security officers, female officers, being out front to help make sure that Donald Trump was safe?
All right, okay. I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
Our Secret Service and we as citizens, when we see something like that, we don't assume automatically that there's a single shooter. Come on, y'all. The most famous assassination in the history of the world was told to us it was a single gunman, and none of us believe that to this day. Okay? Did you hear that, NSA? I said it. Okay? But the reality is this. We just assume there's no way this was a lone wolf. Okay? Whether it was or not, we assume that.
Right.
You stand the president up. The protocol, I've heard Dan Bongino say it over and over again this week. The protocol is you get on top of him, you carry him, you don't let him be seen again. Yeah. I don't care what he says.
You surround his body with your body is what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
And when he is, How tall is Donald
He's
Trump?
like
6'2"?
I think I might be 6'4". I don't know. He's
Okay.
at least 6'2", but I think he's
He is
6'4".
taller than the average man,
Right.
right?
Right.
You have petite women definitely in front of him as he's trying to exit
The front
stage.
The front one. From his torso
Right.
up was exposed over the top of her head.
Let's just
Let's play it.
let's don't even talk about being women. What if it was a shorter man?
Exactly.
You wouldn't want a shorter man trying to secure a 6'2" Donald Trump to get him off a stage where someone just tried to take his life.
And I understand it's the panic of the moment. I understand that you can't automatically realize, okay, we need to take a moment and move everybody around. It's panic.
Panic.
But
Chaos.
but what we're trying to say is nothing against women serving, being policemen, all this kind of stuff.
No.
But it's the DEI world we live in.
Yes.
And we're going to show you the clip of what we're talking about if you have not seen it. But this is a direct result of a woman.
If you're going to play the video that I was
I'm gonna
referring
play
to
it. I'm
earlier,
gonna play it.
we're not even talking about that, okay, well, we have petite women where we maybe needed some more large muscular men. We're talking about from their words from their own mouth, which made them look like they were even unprepared to fulfill the duty and the role of their job.
Right.
Because of what they're going to say on this video.
So meet Kimberly Cheadle, who is the DEI Secret Service director who almost got Trump eliminated. As more evidence of the catastrophic breakdown in security leading to an attempted assassination of Donald Trump continues to emerge, calls are mounting for Kimberly Cheadle, Biden's appointed Secret Service director, to resign. Who is Kimberly Cheadle? Do you want to know what her experience was? She served as senior director in global security at Pepsi. Before being named Biden's Secret Service director in 2022. So let's look at some of the priorities of her pick. Quote, I'm very conscious as I sit in this chair now of making sure that we need to attract diverse candidates and ensure that we are developing and giving opportunities to everybody in our workforce, particularly women.
Right.
CBS even ran the story. This is when she was first appointed. You go to their website now that didn't exist to this level until this administration. You have affirmative employment programs, special emphasis programs, African American, Asian American, Pacific Islander, Hispanic, Indigenous nations, federal, women's, LGBT, persons of disabilities, and I don't know what this is, Office of Ombudsman. Anybody know what an ombudsman is? An Inclusion and Engagement Council. This is on their website.
Definitely don't know what that means.
So how did the diversity hire agents fare in protecting Trump on Saturday?
Yeah.
Here's audio of female agents desperately asking, where are we going? What are we doing? Let's play this.
And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you. Ready. Move. Up. Move. Go.
Why aren't they moving? Somebody said move. Waiting on Hawkeye. Then here comes the guys. Look how long it took them to get up there.
Okay, we are watching live at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, where former President Trump was speaking on the stage.
They still ain't moved him. Let's go down this article. Mm-hmm. you know, I know it's going to sound like bashing, but I want you to see and I know it's pandemonium of the moment.
Right. And somebody said in chat, in the comments over here in the chat, that I only saw one woman on the stage. There were probably...
She was one on the stage, but that's not what we're talking about.
That's not what we're talking about. I just want to clarify what I said.
We're talking about the one woman that was on the stage,
right.
but what we're talking about is
this. Once he got over near the car, there were multiple women.
This is what we're talking about. Is that when and you'll notice there's panic. She tries to holster. She gives up. She holds it. And then I want you to watch. They're fixing their jacket. They put their sunglasses on, straighten their jacket, pull their shirt down. Y'all, I get it. I get it. Don't come at me. I get it's the pandemonium, it's the chaos of the moment. But you can tell by looking at it that there was, and I'm not just talking about the women. I'm talking about the men too. There was no preparedness for something of this level. They thought this was just going to be another speech by Trump, and they were going to go about their life. I'm telling you, they were not prepared. And we live in a world right now that DEI, wokeness, and all this has made every part of defense unprepared to some extent. And I'm being very careful because I'm not trying to come against those that have given their life to service. We honor them, and we're not saying for the most part. But I'm telling you, when you start looking and your director is saying, what I'm prioritizing is diversity. Yeah. That's not qualification, right. Not training, not ability, but by diversification, you've moved into putting people's lives in danger.
Exactly.
And we're not being critical of women in service, but when this SUV pulls out, there's one guy and the entire SUV is surrounded by 6 or 7 women. And that's, look, I get it. I know they have worked hard to get there. But I'm telling you, when you have a man that is 6'2", 6'3", muscular, and has military talents, it's going to be very difficult for a small female to be able to defend that. And you can hate on me if you want to, but I think we all know it's the truth.
Let's talk about it from this perspective. When he was stood up and they're trying to get him off the stage, the petite woman, which in this instance was a woman.
And she was doing her job. We get it.
She was in front of him, but he's towering over her. She's from that position, from that vantage point, she cannot shield him, and you're supposed to shield his entire body with yours. So that was not a good move or not a good look. And, you know, let's look at it from this perspective. If you are a leader from another place, another country, are you looking at this whole thing and seeing us putting women out here trying to protect a presidential candidate, get him off the stage, then get him into the car after this happened? How do we look in their eyes? Because we've already had some faux pas and looked weak in a lot of other areas in this country. But it was not a great moment. It turned out good.
Not completely good, Sandy. There was a man that lost his life protecting his wife and children. There was 2 others that's critically wounded.
Specifically to Trump. It ended up good for him, but it was not a great day.
It was a horrible day. It's a day that none of us will ever forget.
No, we will not.
And I'm thankful that the very first thing that they did at the convention today when I was watching is they honored that man that lost his life.
Yes, that was great.
And he was literally sheltering his wife and child. When the bullets went forth, he just immediately went on top of them, and one of the subsequent bullets hit him and killed him. Yeah. 2 others are fighting for their lives. Yeah. So this was horrible. But when you factor in, you know, we're beginning to see the results of a woke agenda.
Yes.
You're seeing it in corporations. You're seeing it now, unfortunately, in our government and the president of the United States. Listen, Donald Trump has requested multiple times enhanced security, and he has been rejected. RFK Jr., and we're going to get to this article in just a minute, was denied. But then all of a sudden, magically, now he's been given it to by Biden.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So let's just add one more thing before we move on. Look at the outstanding reputation that the organization of the Secret Service has had throughout decades.
Yes.
But how recently, and I don't know how far you want to go back in months or years, to where it just started being tarnished. And I know there have been certain presidents that they or maybe their wives could not stand the Secret Service, did not respect, did not treat them well. So we've heard in different articles, news articles, that's terrible. Why would you not be the kindest, most appreciative to someone who is defending you with their life?
Uh-oh, we got Tony Merkel's in the live chat.
Tony Merkel.
Confessionals podcast.
Dude,
Thank you. We will see you in August, brother, at the conference.
Looking forward to it.
What a blessing to have Tony in here
You
with
better
us
have the
tonight.
coolest T-shirts at your booth because I will be buying a bunch of them.
Yeah. I don't know if he's got a booth at Armed or not. He's talking about Armed Media.
Oh, I'm talking about something else.
Yeah, I know. All right. But y'all, if y'all don't follow him, you need to go to the Confessionals podcast and follow him, man. It's there. He's cutting edge. He's doing things on YouTube that nobody else is doing, covering subjects nobody else is covering.
Absolutely.
But going back to this, it says this is Representative James Comer. He says, I've already contacted the Secret Service for a briefing, and I'm also calling on Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle to appear before a hearing. The Oversight Committee will send a formal invitation soon. Nice. So they're saying they're going to go into an immediate investigation. But let's review one more time and go back to the fact that look at the snowball of the events. So you have, first of all, you have adjacent buildings.
Yes.
Literally
multiple adjacent
buildings just outside of the quote unquote perimeter, but because they were denied enhanced security circle, they were not manned. It's coming out now that the Secret Service sort of outsourced that to the local police department. That's how this guy climbed the ladder with no gun, but he contacted them.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now being revealed that it was at least 3 minutes. 3 to 3.5 minutes, they knew about it. And when you see the infamous picture of the two snipers up on the barn with the scopes pointed, it is now being revealed, y'all. I can't even believe I'm saying this, that they were watching and waiting for this guy. They were looking at him. And if you'll notice, when you hear the pow, pow, he puts his head up and gets a perspective, then gets back down and eliminates him. So I'm trying not to have conspiracy here and hearsay, but more and more people are reporting that there was sort of, I don't want to call it a stand down, but it was almost like we need to wait till we see that what's going on over there. But, you know, I'm trying
There were at least 40 seconds where they should have just immediately removed Trump from the stage, basically.
Yes. Yeah. Keep talking.
Well, it's crazy.
We're doing something.
And it's unthinkable. I mean, you think of the Secret Service, that something like this could happen. Go back to the assassination attempt on Reagan, how the Secret Service just jumped on top of him.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point, because you go Google that. Go Google that, the attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan, and watch the difference. The difference in response. I know it was one's on a stage, one's walking towards a car. Right. It's a different scenario, but just the way they handled themselves, they were prepared for that moment. And I thank God for the Secret Service. I don't want anyone cutting this up and twisting my words. Thank God for the Secret Service and the people. I'm so thankful they jumped on top of him. They got him out.
Yes.
But I think when you go back to the fact that they knew this guy was up there,
right.
They had been radioed in. And then I heard Bongino also say, I've never seen a presidential candidate Secret Service where they only had 2 snipers in place. Multiple times, they have multiple snipers.
Right.
Well, here's my question. Could you, and I'm not trying to be funny here, could you have just gone to Best Buy and bought some drones? Why are you not got drones circling around those buildings?
I totally thought the same thing. I mean, is this the absolute result of DEI and cost-cutting measures? I mean, thank God they ultimately got him off site safely, got him medical attention. He's, going to live to tell the tale, but it could have turned out really bad.
All right, so I'm seeing, I have not seen this report. I'm seeing Alicia and a couple people saying that they are saying they wasn't sure if it was one of their guys or not. Okay.
What?
If they are saying that,
that's even worse.
That's
right?
even worse.
Come on. I mean, I don't mean to be laughing. It's a nervous laughter. I cannot believe what I'm hearing. What?
So all of a sudden, multiple times, RFK Jr., I want you to think about something.
Yes.
I did a video with Paul Begley last night.
Yes.
And
by the way, you should go watch that if you
should
haven't
go watch
already.
it. I'm actually turning it into a short. But one of the things I'll talk about is the similarities between 1968 and now. And when you think about what happened in 1968, we have Dr. King was assassinated. Yes. Robert Kennedy was assassinated, his dad, who was running for president. We had the Democratic Convention was in Chicago, which is in Chicago now. You had violent protests all over college campuses, and which we have just had, and they are now pledging to be at the Democratic Convention protesting in the streets. Then you had the Democratic candidate that was the presumptive nominee because of chaos of the Vietnam War and so forth, removes himself, steps down just before the convention, all in 1968. So it's very, very crazy, the similarities that are here. Yes. But that alone, y'all, let me tell you something. I do not agree with RFK Jr. on many, many things. I agree with his stance on the wah-wah, but just about everything else that he stands for, I do not theologically or ideology agree with him. But as an American, the fact of who his father is and his name alone puts a target on him. Exactly. So why in the world Biden, other than just they didn't want to help him at all because he originally was a Democratic candidate and dropped out and went independent, denied any Secret Service protection, any. He had to pay for it out of his own pocket. Well, guess what? Right after Saturday, lo and behold, wonder why, Biden urges the nation to lower the temperature in politics and then goes on to issue Secret Service protection for RFK Jr. now on behalf of the government. So Biden urges the nation to lower the temperature in politics after Trump's shooting. He goes on and does an address of the nation. He says the power to change America should always rest in the hands of the people, not in the hands of would-be assassins. They want us to lower the temperature. Quote, we are not enemies. We are neighbors and friends, co-workers and citizens, and most importantly, we're fellow Americans. The president said we must stand together. I appreciate those words. But what I want to ask you, Mr. President, if I had the opportunity to do that, is when you continue to say, and even today it was still, some people were trying to say it, but then the press secretary was downplaying it, threat to democracy, America's Hitler. Then all of a sudden we don't need to say stuff like that anymore.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, but
right.
That's why this happened.
Can we play a montage of all of the...
It's funny that you should ask for a montage.
Thank you.
Nice. This is the party that is saying we need to make sure that we eliminate the threat to democracy. Let's just do a little flashback of what Democrats have been saying about President
Trump. I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized right up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
That's it right there. Pull it up. I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Now, am I going to say that there has not been rhetoric, demonic, hateful rhetoric on the right as well? Mm-hmm. Of course. But when those news organizations that you just saw are the very ones that they don't ever go back and show you that. No. They just want to say that this man is Hitler. This man needs to be eliminated. You heard. I'm not even going to repeat some of the things they said because I'm telling you, I was raised into thinking that if you made a veiled threat against any president, Democrat or Republican, the Secret Service is coming to your house.
They're going to be knocking on the door the next morning, and you're going to be investigated, right?
These are senators, representatives.
Very public people.
Very public people.
Not even a rebuke.
Nothing.
Nothing. Crickets.
Crickets. And that's how we got here. So
dirty little polititricks.
Yeah. So we're being told it's time to tamp down the temperature. Well, you know what? I agree. Yeah. And it's time that we start holding people accountable.
Y'all go first.
How about this one?
Y'all start tamping.
Y'all, there are some actors that are just hilarious, that I love some of the stuff they do. I mean, what Nacho Libre. I mean, come on. I love Nacho Libre.
Love that.
I can't watch it now. I can't watch it now. Did you see what Jack Black did today?
No, but I'm sure it was
this
inflammatory.
He has a rock band with him and this other guy, and they're called Tenacious D.
Yeah.
And they was in a concert. I believe this was last night. And his partners, it was his birthday. So they sing happy birthday to him, and then they ask him to blow out the candle and make a wish in front of thousands and thousands of people. Now, but I don't want you to listen.
Don't miss Trump next time.
The crowd laughs.
Wow. Are we about to jump in and look at the RNC right now?
Do we need to?
Yeah, we might need to see what's going on.
Okay. So that was Jack Black.
Thank you.
What's going on?
Jack Black. No. I think Tim Scott may be speaking or preaching.
No, you're way behind.
At the RNC. We're way behind?
Yeah,
okay.
That was earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, that was earlier. They were talking about Jesus earlier.
Somebody chiming in, tell me to look at it.
Yeah, they're singing. They're singing. That was the governor candidate of North Carolina that came out. That was not Tim Scott.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was preaching Jesus, man. He come out there. Let me just tell you right now, we can't do nothing without my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
I had somebody send me a text and say, check on it. So good.
Yeah, okay. So, guys, I know what it sounds like. It sounds like we're trying to ramp up. We're trying to show you these things to make you mad, to make you want to go do something. That's not what this is. No. This is, okay, I hear you, President Biden. I hear you.
Yes.
Let's really tamp it down.
Yeah.
Let's, on both sides, let's tamp it down. Let's stop.
Let's let the Democrats start the tamping, okay? If you want to come out and make a statement like that, let's make sure that your side is actually doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just screaming at us to do it.
Yeah, yeah. So here's an article here that just sort of lays out, why the Democrats they just don't know how to handle this. It's called failed Trump assassination attempt did 2 things for Dems, and none of them are good. And he goes on to say down here, not minimizing the seriousness of what happened yesterday, but from a purely political standpoint, one single shot turned Trump into a bona fide American folk hero, neutralized the replace Biden campaign, destroyed the threat of democracy talking point that Democrats have been promoting. And the truth is, thank you for that super chat, Kang Gline.
Oh,
appreciate
thank you,
that.
Kang Gline.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Give you a little bit of love there, brother.
Yes.
So yeah, I said that too when I first when all this went down that night when we were just sort of decompressing. I told you, I said, in my opinion, I believe that the whole talk of we got to get Biden out is going to be tamped down. I'm not saying it still won't happen, but it's less likely to happen now because they don't want to be seen as the party that when the opponent had an assassination attempt on him, we just removed the president and made him irrelevant. So I believe, barring something major, and nothing surprises me
Let's
anymore.
go back to that first point. Turn Trump into a
bona fide folk hero.
Bona fide folk hero. Okay, well, yeah, I guess so, probably. But that's just petty, pathetic.
Yeah.
Little statement, the same way that President Clinton, almost had a jealousy when President George Bush had to deal with 9/11. Really?
Right.
Seriously. If that was even true, I probably would have just kept that to myself. But since I hardly can believe anything.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember us both being shocked that it
about it.
Can you imagine somebody saying, boy, it's really stinks that I wasn't the guy that had to deal with that? Because I would have become a legend then. My face would have been associated with the American response. And
narcissist much?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just sickening.
Yeah.
Never let a crisis go to waste.
Never let a crisis go to waste. But
type thing.
You guys know that I am ranking with the conspiracy theorists, so I'm going to stick with the statement, don't believe anything you hear and only half of what you see.
If y'all only knew what really is talked about in my house, the things that she tells me and sends me that never makes it to the big picture.
Be assured. I am working hard to indoctrinate him into the society of conspiracists.
Oh, you've already done that.
Well,
but there's still some things.
You got at least one leg in. I'm rooting for pulling you all the way.
They're cheering you on. Look at you. Yay, Sandy. Yay,
Thank
Sandy.
you. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Stuffed Pickles, Alicia. Holy Stuffed Pickles. And what the what?
Well, Dems give up hope now, as I said earlier, that Biden will drop out after the assassination attempt. Democrats, let's zoom in a little bit. Democrats are hoping that President Joe Biden will drop out of the election race, fears their chances of replacing him on the ticket is all but gone in the wake of the assassination attempt of Donald Trump over the weekend. Blah, blah, blah. We've already covered that.
They better double up on those prayers because he doesn't look like he's going anywhere at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, which is, it's amazing to me that they've not been able to strong-arm him out. It just is amazing.
Well, things keep turning for him, right?
That's true. That's true.
Oh, yay. I was waiting on this story.
So if you needed further evidence of who really has been inciting, they even know themselves that they are inciting. Do y'all know, and I don't watch MSNBC, so maybe some of y'all do, and I have went over there a few times during all this just to see what they're saying. But y'all know their number one show in the mornings, and the one show that President Biden has said that he watches every day is Morning Joe. Do y'all know they pulled them off the air this morning? They literally pulled them off the air. And how bad is it when you got CNN reporting about Morning Joe being pulled off the air? I mean, they're so happy. CNN's like, yay, we got something to say about somebody else. Instead of our ratings going down, Morning Joe is pulled from there. Listen to this. Y'all, this is crazy wording here. MSNBC will not air Morning Joe. This was today. Its celebrated political roundtable program on Monday, opting to instead air continued breaking news coverage of the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. The Progressive News Network confirmed the decision to preempt its influential and top-rated morning show after a CNN inquiry Sunday evening. The network said the show will resume on Tuesday. The decision by MSNBC to leave one of its most recognizable programs on the sidelines amid a seismic politics-driven news cycle with the Republican National Convention getting underway in the wake of the Saturday shooting of Trump's campaign rally is certain to raise eyebrows. A person familiar with the matter told CNN that the decision was made to avoid a scenario in which one of the show's stable of 24+ guests might make an inappropriate comment on live television that could be used to assail the program and network as a whole. Given the breaking news nature of the story, the person said it made more sense to continue airing the breaking news coverage. Basically, they could not trust their own talent to keep their mouth shut and not say anything inflammatory against Trump after he was just almost assassinated.
To not go completely ballistic. So this article alludes to they're basically trying to hang this around the neck of a guest, not necessarily the host, according to their own words, correct?
I think they were just saying they didn't know who, any of them at any time.
Honestly, it probably would have definitely been good for the Trump campaign if they had gone on, right? Mika and Joe, they have a hard time keeping it together sometimes.
And
I've heard.
Hey, look, I saw they had a marital spat on there the other day about Joe Biden because
like I said last week, the chemistry between them is.
It's not like us.
Oh no,
they don't have our chemistry.
No.
Okay, baby, we've been together for. Watch me cross dimensions. I'm back. Cross dimensions.
But anyway, that was just a little funny sidebar story we wanted to do. I mean, do I take it on face value? Is there something a lot more in there? Like I said, I don't believe hardly anything I hear.
If you haven't smashed that like button, smash it now. Smash it. Oh, and by the way, we didn't even say anything about this. We are never on Facebook, but we are tonight. Tonight's a special broadcast. We are on Facebook if it's working correctly. Some of you are watching. You didn't even know our show existed because you only watch our Bible study if you ever even watch that on Wednesday nights. This is a show that we do every Monday night on YouTube and Rumble only. So if you are seeing this on Facebook live or on the replay and this show has added any kind of value to it, or you hate our guts and you want to watch us just so you can hate on us a little bit more, we'll take the haters too. Make sure you go over to YouTube, subscribe to The Big Picture.
Or if you're feeling really charitable, buy me a coffee.
You can buy a coffee. Down below there's a link. It says buy me a coffee.
Did you see what I did there?
You did. You did. While we're there, let's just go ahead and say maybe not just buy a coffee. Maybe they need to also buy an EMP Shield.
Hello.
Because you can link down in, there's a link down in there if you want to protect yourself against all the stuff that's coming off the sun and any kind of attack from North Korea. They're like, hey, so just go down to the link below. We have an affiliate link down there, and everything
Get that
you do
EMP Shield. That's right.
Can help us out, and we appreciate it. So watch it on Facebook. Come over to YouTube. Come over to Rumble, and join us. Now, speaking of, we was talking about Mika and Joe being married. We haven't seen a lot of Melania, and she's been taking care of her family. But she did release a very moving statement today. It really, really was very powerful. She released it and said, "Let us not forget the differing opinions, policy, and political games are inferior to love," said the former First Lady. Let's go down here to the actual statement. I think it has the actual statement here, maybe not. Let's just read this part. She said she thanked the people who reached out to her family for remembering that every single politician is a man or a woman with a loving family. We all want a world where respect is paramount, family is first, and love transcends. We can realize this world again. Each of us demand to get it back. We must insist that respect fills the cornerstone of our relationships again. I wanted to read that first part that she said. Oh, yeah, here it is. She says, "A monster who recognized my husband as an inhuman political machine." This is what we're talking about, the rhetoric. This monster identified my husband as a non-human political machine, attempted to wring out Donald's passion, his laughter, ingenuity, love of music, and inspiration. She said in her statement, the core facts of my husband's life, his human side, were buried below the political machine. Donald, the generous and caring man whom I have been with through the best of times and the worst of times. So, I mean, that just sounds to me, who knows, but that she had help writing it or not, but I think it was very genuine from her. And
Sure.
that really put it in perspective, that this was not just this booming figure of a man. This was a husband. This is a father. This is not just a candidate for the president and going to be a president.
Absolutely.
This is a father, a grandfather.
Yes. 5 children. Don't know how many grandchildren he has, but from his businesses, how many people is he responsible for employing and taking care, helping,
yes.
enrich the personal lives of people through their employment? There's a lot there.
Yes. In a statement that was released from an interview today that Trump had done with a couple of places, Trump says a slight turn of head saved his life during the assassination attempt. He said, quote, I am not supposed to be here, end quote. A slight turn of the head meant the difference between life and death, former President Donald Trump said in a Monday interview that was published just 36 hours after he survived an assassination attempt at a rally in Pennsylvania. Quote, the most incredible thing was that I happened not only to turn, but to turn at the exact right time and in just the right amount, former President Trump told the Washington Examiner while he was on his private jet flying to Milwaukee ahead of the national convention. He added that if he had only made a half turn of his head, the bullet would have hit the back of my brain, adding the other ways goes right through the skull. And because the sign was high, he's talking about the sign he was responding to, I'm looking up. The chances of my making a perfect turn are probably 1/10 of 1%. So I'm not supposed to be here, the former president said. As the bullet was traveling at such a high speed near his head, he recalled, I had to be at the exact right angle. He added that the bullet was 1/8 of an inch away, that I would turn exactly at that second where he, the gunman, wouldn't stop the shot. Is pretty amazing, pretty amazing. I'm really not supposed to be here. Wow.
Yeah.
So as I said on this program the other night, I'll say it again. I know that when President Reagan was shot, it shook him spiritually.
Sure.
And I am praying that the same thing happens for Donald Trump. I am praying that whatever he claims the relationship to be with God to be, that it goes to another level.
Absolutely.
And that he is radically born again.
Absolutely.
And that the 4 years that he serves as a man of God.
I agree with that.
Can anybody help me pray that that would
Listen,
happen?
It can only make him a better man. It can only make this country better and stronger. So I'm absolutely believing that with you.
Absolutely. Well, continuing on that, he goes on to say in that interview, he had a humdinger of a message. He was going to rake Biden over the coals, but he had to come to Jesus literally. And he says, the article says, Trump rewrites Republican convention speech to focus on unity and not Biden. He says that he had rewritten his convention speech after the assassination attempt. An exclusive interview in what we're talking about, the Washington Examiner, he says, the speech that I was going to give on Thursday was going to be a humdinger, Trump said. Had this not happened, this would have been one of the most incredible speeches. It was going to be incredible. It's going to be one. I would have been one of the greatest. I got to work on my Trump impression.
You do. That's a weak.
That was horrible. Aimed mostly at the policies of President Joe Biden. Honestly, it was going to be a whole different speech now. He goes on to say he has switched, he said, from planning to excite his voter base to one that demonstrates his beliefs that the attack on him at that rally in Pennsylvania had changed the election campaign entirely. Both Republicans and Democrats have acknowledged that this in the aftermath of Saturday's shocking incident. Trump said people all across the country from different walks of life and different political views have called him. And he noted that he was saved from death because he turned from the crowd to look at the screen showing the data that he was using in his speech. That reality is just settling in, he said. I rarely look away from the crowd. Had I not done that at that moment, well, we would not be talking today, would we? Talking as he boarded his plane in New Jersey where the Republican National Convention starts on Monday in Milwaukee. Trump said his speech will meet the moment that history demands. Quote, "It is a chance to bring the country together. I was given that chance." Wow. Early Sunday morning, Trump posted on Truth Social, quote, "God alone who prevented the unthinkable from happening, and that he would fear not, again, is talking to the Washington Examiner. He invoked God for his deliverance. There is, quote, a chance to bring the whole country, even the whole world together. The speech will be a lot different than it would have been 2 days ago." The Washington Examiner interview said Trump had been due to take place on his airplane, blah, blah, blah. Trump held the convention. Corey Copper, I can't say his name. I want to be able to say his name. Comparatore. He's the one that lost his life. He held his name, the former fire chief who was shot and killed at the rally, and 2 other supporters, David Dutch and James Copenhaver, who were wounded and are recovering at a local hospital in stable condition. Wow. Trump said his decision to raise his hand when the Secret Service was leading him off stage was to let the people know that he was okay and that America goes on. We go forward, that we are strong. The photograph of him holding his fist in the air, blood streaming across his face as the agents surrounded him, has already become the iconic image of 2024 election. And he will be speaking Thursday night, I believe, to formally accept it.
I don't want to sound mean by stating the obvious, but look at the comparison. Our current president needs assistance exiting the stage, and Trump is doing fist pumps in defiance in the face of death as he exits the stage, just surviving an assassination attempt. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And how about this? I believe this next article, as we shift away specifically on talking about the assassination, we really are not, because I think this is a direct result. Zelensky, we just reported the other day that he didn't want Russia to be a part of the negotiations at all. Zelensky suddenly reverses, says Russia should attend the second Ukraine summit. With much of the globe's eyes and international press focused on the U.S. domestic political situation in the wake of the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has just made an unprecedented announcement. He said today that a second Ukraine peace summit should include Russian representation. It is a remarkable development that he has so much as stated that it's even a possibility, even if it doesn't actually materialize, given he's long been vehemently against any level of negotiations with Moscow as long as Putin is still in power. Quote, "I believe the Russian representatives should be at the second summit," he said. Many are suggesting, it goes on in the article. Yeah, get into this, please.
That it says, with this overture, Zelensky could be anticipating that it will be Trump in the White House after the November election. Trump has been vocal on the campaign trail about getting the warring sides to the negotiating table. While Trump's team has of late touted a comprehensive peace plan, no one has actually seen it in full. Meanwhile, Trump has at least one European supporter who is enthusiastic. Hungary's Viktor Orban has said that a Trump administration provides an opening for peace. And days ago, Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó said in an interview, "I think a very strong external impact must take place in order to make them negotiate at least." He added, "Who has the chance for that in the upcoming period? That's only President Trump if he's elected." So, ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you that the fist in the air, fight, blood coming down the face, lit Zelensky up. His people told him, "You better change your anticipation.
It's time for an about face, sir. You might want to get rid of that sweatshirt and put on a white button down. Let's find the man a tie. Come on."
I don't even know.
Get the glam squad in here.
Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me.
Yeah, all that's nice and good, but when I think about peace, I believe the next words are sudden destruction.
That's what the Bible says.
So,
Yep.
I guess it remains to be seen.
Yep.
But we do need to get him out of that sweatshirt.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Come on. Can you speak to the President of the United States? Can you speak to the joint Congress and House of Representatives in something other than a green sweatshirt? Yeah. Come on. But listen, under the radar, did you know that there's 2 major bird flu summits that are happening?
I didn't know there were 2.
There's 2 now. 2 bird flu summits discussing pandemic and mitigation risks are set to take place in October.
October again? Well, that reminds me of Event 201.
October surprise.
Wow.
Right before November. October, November. Guess what happens in November?
Remember the 5th of November? Is that Election Day this year?
This is when it is. Vaccination campaigns, quarantine efforts, tracking, and, quote, handling panic and maintaining public order will be just some of the topics discussed at the 2 bird flu summits. The first one, hosted by the University of Arkansas Fayetteville, called the International Avian Influenza and One Health Emergency Issues Summit.
Oh, God. Can I do a pregnant pause again? All right, so
that's a long pause.
Arkansas, I'm thinking. Arkansas, Fayetteville, the University of Arkansas.
What are you thinking?
Why are we doing this all the way out in the middle of the country?
I don't know.
Right? I mean, you would think.
Speak your mind, woman.
Okay, so I know that they had some kind of high-level biolab on Plum Island in New York, near Manhattan, basically Manhattan.
Okay.
And they closed that facility down and moved it to Manhattan, Kansas, I believe, right in the middle of the country.
Okay.
And so now we're talking basically close to the middle of the country, Arkansas.
Isn't that also around where the Ozarks are, in that area?
It is.
Okay.
Part of the Ozarks are in Arkansas. I think part of them are also in Missouri.
Right.
But this is weird to me that you would move a big meeting, summit like that.
Yeah, exactly. And
to
that's
the
the
middle of
first
the
one.
country.
That's just the first one. The forum's website states since January 2022 that viruses affected tens of millions of wild birds, commercial poultry flocks. We've covered that extensively here, that they've been saying that for a while. And it just basically, this article details all the agendas that would be on it. One of the speakers will include Bill Hewitt, a veterinarian with Tyson Foods, who works with both domestic and international poultry operations. Another summit will take place at the same time in Washington, D.C. The same time. The other one's September 30th to October 2nd. This one's October 2nd to October 4th, called the International Bird Flu Summit.
So what are you supposed to do? Leave Arkansas and immediately fly to Washington, D.C.?
Exactly. That's very weird.
Yeah.
The window for registration has closed to the end of June. According to the event's brochure, the group said, quote, "Welcome to the International Bird Flu Summit." Well, that sounds welcome to the Bird Flu Summit. We're going to have so much fun, where we address the pressing concerns surrounding the recent developments of avian influenza with the emergence of the highly virulent strain of bird flu affecting both cattle and humans. And it gives you, this is the agenda, preparedness in birds and in cattle, prevention and recovery, detection and response. So you got 1 in birds, 2 in cattle, 3 in pets, and 4 in humans. So we've said it here, we've been saying it for months, that something's going to happen right before the election. And it's like more and more and more, I think we all agree that they're running out of options. Yeah. Maybe this is their last hurrah to make people scared to get out of their house and vote again. I don't know.
Well, we have had a few crazy ideas, one being test every cow weekly.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we can do that. That's going to be so easy.
Let's look in. Oh yeah, this is Byron Donalds. I really like him. Let's jump in the convention hear a little bit what Byron Donalds talking here.
Will change. And if there was ever a time in our nation to come together, that time is now. Yes. With Trump Our economy will boom again. You will have more money in your pocket again. And your children will have a future again. Together, I know we will make America wealthy again. And together, America, we will make America great again. God bless you, Milwaukee. God bless the United States of America.
Well, I'll say amen to that. God bless the United States of America. Because without God, we're in serious, serious trouble, y'all. Absolutely. Y'all, I hear something. I don't know what it is.
What could it be? What could it
but
possibly
y'all need to pay close attention because it's a little bit more special than normal.
Are you ready for this? Uncle Jimmy!
Uncle Jimmy! Lord have mercy. Supernatural AI update.
What is that?
What did you do?
What was that other woman doing besides you? Who was that?
I don't know. You brought in. By the way, thank you for that super chat. Mile boing. I hope I said that right.
Yes,
thank you.
very much.
And then they gave us a scripture, Daniel 2:21. Yes, thank you. So what did you do with my wife? You brought in this crazy
No, she's still here in honor of tonight. I'm just gonna. Can you see? Got my tinfoil hat on.
Got your antenna.
I'm full of conspiracies tonight, so I just thought it'd be great, a good time to bring this thing.
Did y'all like Harper's introduction?
Been a minute.
Uncle Jimmy.
How could you not like Harper's introduction of Uncle Jimmy? That was amazing.
Can we just watch it one more time?
Why not?
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
You go,
Uncle
girl.
Jimmy!
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy. She is something else, y'all. She is something else. Yes. All right, so let's get into this on the Supernatural AI update here. First, we'll just start off with just sort of gently bring you into it. But
okay, we're going to ease into it. Is that a lie? So because you're about to just totally.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So Meta, of course, owns Facebook and Instagram and some other things. Meta has now filed a patent for user authentication using a combination of vocalization and skin vibration. What is this world about to be?
Yeah.
The system generates an authentication data set using the detected airborne acoustic waves and the detected vibration of tissue and authenticates the user based in part on the authentication data set. Several weeks ago, the tech giant Meta was granted patent rights to an obscure idea from the United States Patent and Trademark Office, user authentication using a combination of vocalization and skin vibration, what it's called. While it's currently unknown what this would be used for, it's definitely a new type of verification. Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. According to the patent filings that was filed in December of 22, it was accepted on June 27, 24, and it's described as an audio system configured to authenticate a user. The system detects via microphone array airborne acoustic waves corresponding to the vocalization of the user. The system also detects via a vibration measurement, and I'm going to break this down, via a vibration measurement assembly, vibration of tissue of the user caused by the vocalization. The system generates an authentication data set using the detected airborne acoustic waves and the detected vibration of tissue. Oh, I feel like I just need to go take a nap.
Well, I just want to say two things right here.
But let me say one thing, then you can go there.
Okay.
Is, to me, this is telling us already that they can listen to us through vibrations. We've always said that.
No, not just that. They can identify you.
Right.
Through the vibrations.
Yes.
Of your voice.
And of the vibrations of your skin. So like when I clap, are you telling me, Meta, that my skin has a sound that comes from my skin to my skin that you can break down through AI and know it's me?
Wow.
That it's me clapping?
Wow.
That's what it sounds like I just read. So if you're in a room of people clapping for a presidential candidate or a preacher preaching a certain sermon, you can identify someone in that room by the acoustic sound of the vibrations of their skin.
Well, let me just add one of my two somethings. First that I want to say about that is this. For what they have planned for all of us, if you thought there was any hope for you outside of a relationship with God and the protection of God, I'm sorry.
Preach.
You've lost your mind.
Preach.
You lost your mind.
You lost your
Because this
mind.
is the part of the show where my skin starts crawling.
Wait a minute.
It's
vibrating. When it crawls, it vibrates.
And the second thing is this. You won't have to wonder why you can't charge your Tesla or possibly even recharge your cell phone, because all the electricity is going to be going towards operating all of these devices and these functions that they're going to need to control every part of your life.
It's all digital.
Mic drop.
Mic drop, baby. You told it.
And I still ain't got no coffee in my hand up in here.
Uh-oh. Well, we need that deal.
Well, you should have ran down to the store before this show started and made sure I had some.
That's true.
Anyway,
but
sidebar.
look, you said something about Tesla. So what's a show without Elon? We got to tell you something about Elon, but I was not really prepared for this one. Elon is now telling people he is an alien.
Well, I'm sure you all had your...
He's literally saying that.
You probably, some of you out there were probably already thinking that.
So Elon Musk insists he is an alien.
Oh, Star Child.
And he urges public to think about it for a second. Elon, this is not, I first thought this was the Babylon Bee, but this is not, okay? Elon Musk has made no secret of his interest in aliens and even suggested he was an alien himself, but that no one would believe him. Elon Musk, the multi-billionaire behind Tesla, X, and SpaceX, has claimed to be an alien. Speaking at Viva Tech in Paris, France, a worldwide summit for technological startups, Musk was asked by an event host if he was an alien. The 52-year-old entrepreneur laughed and responded, "I am an alien. Yes, I keep telling everyone I am an alien. But nobody believes me." Despite being officially born in Transvaal, South Africa in 1971 and holding a U.S. and Canadian citizenship, Musk joked, in quotations, about his extraterrestrial origins. He added that if he could provide proof of alien life, he would share it on X and Twitter, his social media site he now owns.
You mean X, formerly known as Twitter?
Formerly known as Twitter, yes.
And we know this about him. He likes the letter X for whatever reason.
He does. Musk also issued a warning about artificial intelligence, stating it posed a more immediate problem than extraterrestrials to human life. He predicted that AI would eventually replace all jobs on Earth, making employment optional and transforming jobs into hobbies, as AI and robots would provide all the necessary goods and services. However, he cautioned that these AI systems need to be carefully trained to prioritize honesty over political correctness to prevent the spread of misinformation. And then he took another picture, apparently in a demon costume.
No, that's his Halloween costume.
Is that his Halloween costume?
I think so. You should see his mom. She's kind of weird too.
But I think that's supposed to be a demon, but I'm not sure. It's very important that
Probably
AI
not good, whatever it is.
to be trained, to be truthful. I love the optimism here. It's important that AI be trained to be truthful and not trained to be correct. Like that's really possible. Musk expressed previously skepticism about extraterrestrial visits to Earth, despite acknowledging the possibility of alien life elsewhere in the universe. He mused that human probes might one day discover the remains of a long-dead alien civilization. Musk also shared his patience of conspiracy theorists who believe aliens walk among us while doubling humanity's lunar achievements. Quote, "For some reason, a lot of the same people who think there are aliens among us don't think that we went to the moon." So tonight, does he get it?
And for that, he wins tonight's Golden Chicken Award. Chime in if you feel the same way.
Elon Musk is an alien, and he has won the Golden Chicken Award tonight.
Yep.
From
You heard it here.
the Queen.
He's finally verified it.
From the Queen. So let's continue on artificial intelligence. And it's the answer to everything. And they're saying it could solve global warming. It could solve climate change. It could solve all of our problems, except there's one major problem. AI needs so much power, it is overwhelming the electric grid
I think
already.
I might have just mentioned this recently.
Yes, you
like
did.
2 minutes ago?
2 minutes ago. The AI boom has had such a profound effect on big tech companies that their energy consumption and with it their carbon emissions have surged. Go figure. The spectacular success of large language models such as ChatGPT has helped fuel the growth in energy demand. At 2.9 watts-hours per ChatGPT request, AI queries require about 10 times the electricity of a traditional Google query.
Why?
Because of all the things it has to pull from to be so much smarter.
Okay.
According to the
Makes
Electric
sense.
Power Research Institute, a nonprofit research firm, or it could be the power that it takes to develop that entity that's out there that we don't know, the Terminator. So this might be the narrative they're telling us.
You're talking about Skynet?
Skynet. A nonprofit research firm, Energy AI, says such as audio and video generation are likely to even add to its energy demands. Which takes me to the next article, which is this. This is mind-boggling. This is Google. Google's AI uses enough electricity in 1 second to charge 7 electric cars.
The hypocrisy.
What?
Oh, my goodness.
Let us read this again. Google's AI version, BART, uses enough electricity in 1 second to charge 7 electric cars. Unbelievable.
How does
What in the
Google allow this to leak out?
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is so damaging.
Exactly.
right?
It really is. It really is.
I mean, we are. It is idiocracy, right?
We are in the movie Idiocracy.
We are living idiocracy. I shouldn't be laughing, but again, I'm nervous. It's a nervous laughter.
Yes. And Sandy,
Yeah, that's my name.
I have one more to show you
Okay. Why are you having a pregnant pause?
because this is going to be one of them that's going to be like, I can't take this.
Oh, God.
But you know what? I'm going to give you 30 seconds to think about it.
Okay.
And I'll be right back.
Would you like to help us build the big picture family? We're on a mission to wake up the world to what is really going on. All you have to do is go to our website at LarryRagland.com and make a one-time gift, or you can become a monthly partner. Any amount is a blessing and an encouragement to us. While you're there, make sure you get a copy of our book, I See Greatness in You. Browse our merchandise store, connect with us on our social media links, and join our mailing list. We appreciate it. And remember, we ain't woke, but we are certainly awake.
Yes, we are definitely awake. And one other thing I want to remind you, we said it earlier, it was very brief, but if you would like to protect your house the way we have,
Yes.
we are honored to be an EMP Shield affiliate owned by none other than Stan Deo, those that know him. He's a co-owner and founder of that. But down in the description, just scroll down just a little bit, you'll see our affiliate link there. Several of you have already bought an EMP Shield, and we thank you because now your house is secure just like our house is against any kind of solar pulses and EMPs from the sun or even some type of weapon. The best protection you could possibly get is from EMP Shield, not just for your house, your RV, your car, just everything that you have that has electronic parts in it. There's a type of EMP for it. They're even developing one right now. Stan told me, saying, I don't know if you know this, they're developing an EMP shield for nuclear power plants. on that level. It's massive.
I'm not sure if we talked about that, but I'd expect nothing less
Yeah.
from our friend Stan Deo,
Yeah.
the brilliant man that he is, and his
then,
team.
And then the other last thing I want to remind you before we show you that last news article is make sure if you have DirecTV, you're watching us every Monday morning at 7:30
Yes.
Central Time, 8:30 Eastern Time for our television program. And we keep trying to get ready to give you an update. We've run into some problems, but we are working on our studio.
Yes.
For those that help us. We are getting down to the nitty gritty. We got to get ready to tape season 2, which is another 12 or 13 episodes for our television program, which is completely different than the Big Picture show. So if you have DirecTV, you can watch it. But if you don't have DirecTV, it's okay because you're watching us on the internet, so you can watch us. Go to faithnow.com, and when you go to faithnow.com, you can sign up for that app. You can watch it if you have a smart TV, a smart device with an Apple TV, Amazon TV, whatever. You can watch their channel and many other channels as well, and you can watch our program. So we'd definitely like you to do that for us. So the last thing I want to show you tonight is this.
Get ready to get creeped out.
If your family member and loved one goes on and leaves this earth, we've already covered how you can get their voice, how they already have been doing their voice, where you can have them send you voice messages and all this. And it only takes a couple of seconds of them hearing the voice of your gone on loved one.
You're saying they only need a couple seconds,
Just seconds.
sample
Yeah,
to completely recreate and create enough content
Yes.
for you to, I don't know, listen to fabricated.
Or you can have entire conversations. They'll call you up and you can talk to it just like a chat GPT. You can also tell it what kind of nature that person had, what kind of personality they had, and chat GPT will learn what kind of responses are really making you feel good, and you can have an AI conversation for the rest of your life with grandma. But Sandy's going to another level.
Okay.
Not just voice.
I had something to say there that I probably shouldn't have said anyway, so let's just continue to move on.
I probably saved you.
I think
Look
you
at this.
just saved me.
So this Chinese AI model now brings families back to life and back together, not just in voice, but all it needs is 2 images, one of you and one of the loved one, and watch what it can do immediately. It turns the 2 pictures, into an actual video of y'all hugging each other. Okay. With the voice saying, "I love you, I miss you." Ladies and gentlemen, these people hugging each other, it's not real.
This is not really happening.
It's not really happening. These are videos made in a matter of minutes or seconds from these pictures. These sets of pictures, black and white, color, vague picture, barely can see grandma or mother. And then you can sit and watch. Okay. You can be hugged by your grandma virtually. And you know what? I can tell, I know that could give some people comfort.
This could cause a lot of problems.
It will.
Reality is getting more skewed here.
How will you
with some people that didn't need any more skewing of reality? This well-intentioned thing could be something really negative.
Yeah, and CJ makes a good point. He says, "Watch the hands." And I'm going to tell you something that is universal in AI. It's so wild. AI has such problems with hands.
With hands.
But you better know this.
They worked it out in this?
No. Look at now this one right here is not that bad, but the next one, you'll see the hands just sort of go in together. Okay. The hands have a problem. But I'm going to tell you something. When you start seeing video where they've mastered the hands, it's obvious that's the last hurdle of mimicking human behavior. I thought I was showing that. Me and you are looking at it, but they can't see it. I'm going to let it loop here.
Yeah, they can't see what we're watching on the screen below.
But I'm going to let it loop while we're talking. So watch the hands. Watch the hands here. You'll see the hands, they just sort of go together and they just sort of vibrate a little bit there, and it disappears, the fingers, and then this one here just sort of disappears into each other. But when they master the hands, y'all, so you'll see that her hands just sort of disappear into each other. When they master the hands, and you start seeing AI videos on this show and other shows where the hands look indistinguishable, then I'm telling you right now, they've got it. There's no telling. You'll never be able to tell the difference.
I'm going to say again, if you thought that there was hope outside of the Lord, outside of Jesus Christ, you better think again. Because they've got this figured out every way, every angle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, listen, once again, if you're watching on Facebook, make sure that you come over to YouTube, like our channel, subscribe to our channel, help us build this channel. We have seen tremendous growth in the last month or two. You guys are really helping us build the Big Picture family, and I really, really appreciate everything that you're doing because you guys are family to us. And I was really thankful that we were able to go through what we went through Saturday night when the nation was shaking, everything was happening. We went through it live together for 2 hours here.
We absolutely did.
We did.
And in case you're wondering, yes, I was sitting in a rolling office chair.
Yeah.
Rolling from the living room television back to his office
relaying
relaying information. That's when I wasn't handwriting notes and handing them to him.
That was the second show.
Thank you. You're welcome.
It was like old school when you see on the old school where they'd be like, breaking. Somebody runs and gives them a piece of paper. Just hot off the presses here. Dateline. I mean, I was talking to you and I was reaching over grabbing pieces of paper.
That's right.
And she was giving me the play-by-play.
This is what we do.
Yeah, because we are family. Yeah. But it's not just what we do for you, it's what you do for us, too.
Absolutely.
We read the live chat. We read the comments.
Because we are experiencing this. We're going through this together. And guess what, guys? It only heats up the political atmosphere, the atmosphere of our whole country. Yes. It only heats up from here. So, yeah, I might need a little hand holding, okay? Be a little patient with me.
Yep. You know what else we need? We might need to close the show with a little bit more of our Bunny Rabbit Harper.
But I have one thing to say first.
Say it, baby.
Stay frosty.
Bye, y'all.
We are woke, but we are sitting awake.
That's my baby.
Good night. Love you.